Hello and welcome to the next edition of my podcast. Over the last 5 days, the events at Wigan Athletic have been truly magical and will go down in history. It is something we will all remember for the rest of our lives. Some people laughed, some people mocked, and some people didn't even give them a chance. But the Wigan Athletic Supporters Club Save Our Club campaign have reached over £500,000 with a day to spare. It's been really magical to see the supporters, fans, ex-players, ex-managers come together to raise almost £600,000 in such a short space of time. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Wigan Athletic Supporters Club Chair Caroline Molyneux and key figure Mick Wimsy to discuss the impact the fundraising will have in helping increase the chances of club's much needed survival. First and foremost, Caroline, Mick, thank you so much for joining me. And can you individually sum up what the last few days have been like for you? Caroline, I'll start with yourself.
The weekend's just been absolutely crazy. It's just been like, people messaging, seeing the players donating, but also all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. So, there are so many people who have been driving this for the last few days. It's been like a full-time job, plus those people have full-time jobs. I think the first thing we want to say, myself and Mick, is that we want to thank everybody who has got on board with this campaign. Everybody from, people at the stadium still working, to Reece James, who, shared our appeal to an account with millions of followers, which, made a massive difference. So it's just been unbelievable. Like you said, people thought we couldn't do it. But it just shows what Wiganers are really like.
Mick, how's it been like for you?
It's been mind-blowing from when we had the first meeting with Jonathan, Caroline and myself, and he was a bit sceptical about raising £150,000. And when I came in, he asked me what my first thoughts was. I said, you'll blow it by Tuesday dinner. And there's a 50p bet, wasn't there, Caroline? Would we do it or not? So Jonathan owes me 50p because I said, you'll blow it, you'll run away with it. Once people start understanding the plight of the club, they'll come forward. And it's not just Wigan people what's come forward. It's everybody, footballing nation, celebrities, everybody. You can't fault, especially in the hard times people are facing. It's phenomenal and it's heartwarming. And I'm not ashamed to say it, it's made me cry. I've had plenty evening nights, and Caroline can vouch that. I watched that video and I must have watched it 50, 100 times. Still makes me cry. Any Wigan fan that hasn't seen that video and hasn't shed a tear, they're harder man than me. Really are.
It's been quite staggering, really, because it was a very not last minute, but late in the day, and a lot of people did doubt that you have the possibility to raise such a large amount, £500,000 in the middle of a pandemic. The odds are well and truly stacked, but there's nothing more Wigan Athletic than defying the odds to do that. So, Caroline, did you always think this was possible when you first started the campaign?
I mean, if we track back to a week ago today, there was a lot of stuff on social media saying, Supporters Club should be acting now. There was a sort of a hiatus in what was going on at the football club and whether we were able to save the football club. But in actual fact, there was a lot of work going on behind the scenes. You can't just launch an appeal like this without planning it and thinking it through. So we spent days, lots of people working really hard on how we were going to do it, and things like how were we going to make sure that if we couldn't succeed, we were going to be able to give everybody their money back, because we've got to do it right. We've got to make sure that, we are going to get a stake in the club. I'm just going to say that. But we had to make sure everything was planned. So over the last weekend, it was a bit disheartening to see those sort of comments on social media when we knew we had something big coming. So when we finally launched on Wednesday, we were just absolutely determined that it was going to succeed. And I'm just going to, you don't want to name drop people, but Nick at the club and Ash, Jason, our website guy at Supporters Club, and Adam as well. That sort of team, as well as Murray Toms at Crowdfunder, they've literally been working every single night till midnight, 1 a.m, pushing things through social media to get us retweets and shares and likes, and that has made the difference. As well as all the fans, even if they couldn't donate, they've been sharing it, they've been retweeting it, they've been liking it, and that made the difference. And that's how we've done it in such a short space of time. Literally, Wigan manpower.
I think it's been absolutely inspirational to see. And you mentioned that team of the people helping out: Ash, Nick, Adam, Jason Taylor, and there's no better team than that. They've been excellent throughout this. Mick, you featured on the Sky Sports News Bulletin with your son, and it went viral after your young lad broke down in tears after being asked about the club situation. Are you now confident that he'll have a club as well as thousands of fans for the long-term future?
Well, I think Caroline can vouch for this. I've always been confident. My confidence has never faltered. I knew people would come together. I knew people would support it, and there will be an outcome, and together we are stronger. This club will go forward. No hesitation whatsoever.
And that's the confidence you want to hear.
Pardon?
That's the confidence you want to hear, definitely.
Oh, well, put it on, my little lad. I didn't expect that, and obviously he's now, when he's been checking his phone every 5 minutes. Dad, we're up to such a thing. Dad, we're up to such a thing. He's been bouncing round. He's been on the ceiling all day because he knows we've raised a figure. He doesn't understand the complexities of it, but he thinks, Dad, we'll be able to go watching football again. Of course we will, lad. We'll definitely be watching football again.
I think that's what it's all about. Obviously, Wigan Athletic means so much to all of us in different ways. It's for our kids, it's for our grandkids, and it's for our future. And to have a support system like yourself to raise such a short amount of money, a massive amount of money in a short amount of time, it's breathtaking. I actually still can't believe it. Not because I didn't expect it to happen, because it just makes you lost for words to see the kindness of people, and it's kind of blown you away as well, Caroline.
It absolutely has. I mean, Mick will vouch for this again. We haven't slept. We're not eating properly, and it's all because we've just got so much adrenaline because of all the work that we're doing, and you know, all the kind messages that we're getting in support, and people wanting to donate things as well as money, and donate their time. It is incredible, and I think we will always look back on this as the saddest time in the history of Wigan Athletic, but also in lots of ways the most amazing time, which is like completely, you know, conflicting, but that would be what we look back on it with.
I couldn't agree more. I think fans will look back at the sadness and the disarray when Wigan went into administration, but they'll take pride and joy in the fact of how the fans rallied together as one and did something truly special. I mean, we had support from clubs across the country, across the world, and it's been really humbling to see. And you're not stopping there as well. We're currently almost at £600,000, and the next target is £750,000. What influenced you to obviously promote that and step up the campaign to raise even more, Caroline?
Well, I think we reached the target sort of yesterday morning, and initially, you may or may not know this, it was actually Gerald Krasner who set us this. Do you remember that, Mick, in that meeting? We were in a meeting, myself, Mick, and Adam, our secretary, and Krasner said, if you can raise another £500,000, Caroline, you could have a big fan say in this. And my jaw nearly dropped through the table. I said, another £500,000, Gerald. But it you know, what we've basically, the supporters have done what's needed to be done through all this, and it was doable, you know, and you can't do it alone, like Mick said. You have to have the faith of everybody around you, and that's what we've had, and that's why it's been so successful. Sorry, I'm not sure I answered the question there, Jay, but you can ask me again if I've forgotten it.
It's absolutely fine. It's just nice to hear so many positive things in a really dark time. Mick, obviously the next target is £750,000. Do you think we can do it? And if so, what will this money help achieve?
Well, I think we will achieve it, and obviously Ethan wants wants a lot more money so we can buy Cedric Kippery back. That's the first thing he asked when we come home today. I think the money will get us a bigger stake into the football club. Confident, obviously, the more people what help us and retweet it and go through this technology because it's mind-blowing. You've just seen the hassle. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't got a clue. Twitter, Zoom meetings, it frightens the living daylights to me. But this is the way forward. And I just can't, it's mind-blowing, the fact that you can put something on and within seconds, millions of people are liking what you've said. And we can raise it. And obviously, you know, if people like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher get behind us and they spread it around, then you never know, we might be able to buy the club outright, Caroline, couldn't we?
There you go. He has grand dreams, Mick, but you never know.
Absolutely. The sky's the limit at the moment. And at this moment in time, Caroline, will you be approaching any interested parties over agreeing a deal to have partner ownership of Wigan Athletic?
Yeah, I think the next sort of 7 to 10 days are going to be really crucial. You'll have heard at the press conference last week that there are some interested parties still, quite serious ones, but also that we're starting the season. So the administrators have confirmed that we're starting the season. So I think over the next few days, we are going to be in regular contact with the administrators and anybody who will be willing to speak to us. And I say will be willing to speak to us. You know, this story's gone everywhere. And if you were a potential new owner of Wigan Athletic, then why would you not speak to the supporters, given that, you know, that we are the heart of the club? And that's what we're going to be aiming to do over the next few days. And we are very confident that that's going to happen.
That's great to hear. Mick, how important and essential is it that the fans have a say in the club going forward?
Fans need to have a voice in it, because that's what we raise the money for. Money is to keep the club going, and then continue to raise it to have a voice, and that voice will be heard, because whoever comes, the 4 prospective buyers will understand that we've got nearly £600,000 in the bank. That's £600,000 they don't have to put in. So they will come and speak to us. Caroline can vouch for that. They will sit down and speak to us. The Wigan public will have a say in the running of this community club.
And that's great to hear as well, because I think in football, it will be nothing without fans, and the fans' involvement should be key in most clubs, in my opinion. And this great fundraising campaign has a real opportunity now to change the future and help the club be in safe hands for the rest of our days, really, because in terms of what we can control, we've controlled the controllables, and you've been excellent throughout this. The supporters club, Caroline, yourself, Mick, you've been inspirational, and you should be very proud. You're a credit to yourselves, your families, and the town. I said as much on Twitter. And how can you kind of put a bit of emphasis on how important the money's been raised, obviously the impact it'll have moving forward of making sure something like this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I think before we started, Jed, I said that you know, when the administrator said raise this money, and we sort of thought, how can we do this? I have to say we explored loads of different ways, didn't we, Mick? How we might raise it and how we might do it in the most fair way, so that supporters get something out of it at the end. And I think, sorry, repeat the question for me, Jane.
How can you ensure that this does not happen to Wigan Athletic again? Yeah. And does the fundraising go a long way in doing that? Yeah.
So basically, you know, and last week before we started fundraising, we had those plans to speak to the new owners potentially and think, would we be able to negotiate? But until you got that fundraising, until you've succeeded, you don't have that bargaining chip almost. So what the supporters have done, and the fans and the players and everybody who's worked on this, is they've now given us the opportunity to go to the potential bidders and say, look, we are the supporters, look at what we've done. We want a voice in the football club, and we want to work with you to make sure that this never happens ever again to our football club. You know, that input that we will use the money for will be for the future. You know, like you said, it will be forever in the football club. We'll have that stake, we'll have that say, and we'll make sure that this club is turned around, because look what's happened to it. The players that have left, the relegation situation, you know, the redundancies at the club, it's been absolutely devastating to people's lives, thousands of people's lives. And so we have really, really got to work hard now to put step 2 into motion and make sure that we get that say, and then the fans can speak and say, well, no, we don't agree with what's happening at this football club, and we have that right to say that because we've got a stake in the football club.
What is the next step, and obviously what are your plans moving forward now, Caroline?
It's all about, I think the next 7 days is all about speaking to people, communication. Myself and Mick are speaking on a regular basis, as well as I mentioned before, Adam, our secretary, Spike, our treasurer, and basically we've got to keep in communication with the administrators and just make sure that anybody who wants to speak to us, that we're available, and we talk to them about what we want in terms of a fan's say. It's all right just saying what is a fan's voice. We want to be able to make an impact on the football club going forward. So we already, again, it's very difficult to say, but we already have that line of communication with the administrators and other stakeholders that are supporting us as a supporters club to make this happen. You mentioned Jonathan, Lisa and Andy. The council are being extremely supportive of everything we're trying to do. And so it's all, the next few days will be all about that, all about now getting out there and saying, right, who wants to talk to us on this? And we already have some sort of positive feedback that that's going to happen.
That's absolutely brilliant to see. Mick, what will be your message to Wigan Athletic fans watching this?
Oh, one word: believe. It will take place.
That is a great message, and obviously you've been working tirelessly. I think no Wigan fan will ever forget the efforts the Supporters Club have made throughout this really dark period. And I know you came under fire, as you mentioned earlier last week, where fans were getting a bit restless in terms of saying, why are you not doing this? And then you have obviously this massive master plan up your sleeve. So Caroline, obviously in the final note, what would your message be to Wigan fans, and what is your prediction over the next couple of weeks?
My message is, first of all, thank you. But my message is also, I've seen some things on Twitter tonight. We need some news. We will do everything we can to make sure that you get that voice. So, the message is just keep the faith with us. Like Mick said, believe that this is going to happen, because we will not let this football club die now. It's difficult to say with 100% certainty that we will survive. But if I was a betting lady, I would put my mortgage on it.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant to hear. And also, you touched upon earlier that the administrators confirmed that we will be starting the season. Can you elaborate more about this?
Yes, so we've got a game on Saturday, and that's going to go ahead. And I've said this a couple of times today. What we're really excited about is the fact that the players are going to be playing in Supporters Club sponsored kit. So the Supporters Club have bought the kit for the start of the season, and it's going to be another heart-wrenching moment, isn't it, Mick? When they're out and they've got our logo on the chest. It's going to be unbelievable to see that the supporters, the players are wearing the shirts that have been paid for by the supporters. It's going to be an incredible moment and quite a rarity in football, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's a very unique prospect. Mick, have you seen the kit? And how important is it that the supporters obviously will now see the result of what they've done? Because there's no denying that if the supporters didn't raise this money, the team won't be playing. They won't have any kits to play in, and you've made that possible, as well as thousands of fans.
I think if we hadn't to raise the money from the offset, we wouldn't have finished the season. So the people need to take great credit in that. That money raised preserved jobs, and it kept the club going. People made joke about no money for the lawnmower, petrol. That's how important it was. The £200,000 what they raised in the original crowdfunder, that got us to the end of the season. Sadly, we deducted the points and was relegated. The money what we bought the shirts with come from the membership money and not from the crowdfunding money. So who were members can take great pride in that. On Saturday when they're on out, it's just a shame there's not 3,500, maybe 4,000 Wiggers at the back of that goal can see it. People like Jeff Rowe, and he busts a gut when he sees them shirts. I've seen pictures of them. We've not finally seen the shirt as it is, but when they do come out, and hopefully there'll be replica shirts as well for us to purchase, there'll be a warm day, be a lovely day for people to see.
It's going to be really heartwarming, and it's been absolutely excellent to see. And you mentioned memberships. On a final note, can one of yourselves give a bit of details on how people can purchase a membership, what you get, and obviously how it helps?
Yeah, absolutely. We would love everybody to join the Wigan Athletic Supporters Club. It costs £6 for a season, and it has always cost £6 for a season. And for that, you get your membership card in the post. You can join on our website, www.wiganathleticsupportersclub.co.uk. And it means that you're able to access travel to away games. And obviously that will be later this season. Also, we are custodians of the South Stand Bar, so you can come and see us and book for your coaches anytime at the South Stand Bar. But also, more importantly, Wigan Athletic Supporters Club, we want to represent all the fans. We do have a couple of thousand members, and we really want to represent all the supporters, because ultimately that's what this has all been about. We're not a club just for certain people, or we're fans as well. So we want you all to join, because you've joined us together in this. So join us at our website. We would be delighted if you joined us this season.
I will leave all the information about that in the description down below. It's been absolutely amazing to speak to you both tonight, and it's amazing to hear the work you've done, and I'm excited to see what the Step 2 has in store, and I've got full confidence that Wigan Athletic will survive, and we'll be looking back at this with great memories in a few years, not in terms of what's happened, the dark days, but the positive days of how the fans rally together. And there's something truly special, because to raise over £500,000 in 5 days is an unbelievable feat, yet alone when you consider it's been a pandemic. So I think, Caroline, yourself, you've been called an Iron Lady in this process of Wigan Athletic. And it's been a real testament to yourself, Mick. You've been, obviously, you have the Sky Sports moment. I know your son's delighted about that. You've been outstanding as well. It's been great to see your efforts and obviously all the efforts of the supporters club, because obviously we won't be talking about this if it weren't for yourselves. And we've got a real fighting chance. Well, not a fighting chance. We will save this football club now, and it's due to yourself and thousands of Wigan fans. And I think we'll all always be eternally grateful that not only of our own fans, but other fans too, because it just shows that although there's rivalries, when a team really needs help, they put it aside and have the best interests of football at heart. So it's been a real nice change to a positive podcast, to be honest with you. It's often been doom and gloom, but we've got a real success story here. If you'd like to donate to the Save Our Club campaign, I'll leave a description down below, a link in the description down below. Sorry, I'm getting a bit waffly, but it's been outstanding to see, and I'm so grateful on a personal level. Thank you so much, and I'm sure that'll be echoed. So thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate you taking your time out your busy schedules, but it's been great to speak to you both.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next podcast.